Hello everyone, and welcome to Art Things to Do When You're Bored Part 2. So the first thing I'm doing here is popping open this heart-shaped canvas. Before I begin with this first thing to do, like and subscribe, and let's get right into today's video. For the first thing to do when you're bored, you're going to need a canvas or a thick piece of paper, some paintbrushes, and some paint. So I'm starting off by painting this entire heart-shaped canvas pink, and we are going to transform it into a balloon. So you can really do this with any shape of canvas, but first I'm starting off with this blank layer just to really create a solid base for everything, and I'm going in with this red in my case to make things a little bit darker and start adding in some shading and some texture. So I'm keeping things really loose. You're definitely going to want a reference for something like this, but then I'm going ahead and just adding in all of the shading. You don't need to be an expert. You just have to put paint in certain places to create this illusion. And I'm going in with even darker colors once I've got on that base. That way I can really make it look even more like a balloon. We're even painting the edges here, trying to make it look really detailed. Now I'm taking a little bit of black and adding that in to create even darker colors and even more shading on this balloon to really make it look like it has some wrinkles and like it's been blown up by air. So that's what we're doing here, and then I'm just adding in little shading all over the place. I'm kind of going a little bit overboard. You know me, I can't stop when I'm supposed to. I just keep on going until I feel like it's done. So here I am, just keep on going, and now it's time for my favorite part, adding in the lighter details. So I took in some lighter pinks as well, and even some whites to really add some highlights and reflection to this balloon to make it look more plasticky and more reflective. So I'm adding in just a whole bunch of highlights, and I have to add my signature sparkles to everything. And then after that, this one is almost complete. This is what it looks like, and I think this is super cool and such a fun thing to do when you're bored, and you can use any type of supplies to do that and transform any shape into a balloon. So for the next prompt, I'm taking a piece of paper and folding it in half, and I'm drawing out little model figures on the paper. That way I can create fashion outfits. This is such a fun thing to do when you're bored. I used to create fashion outfits when I was a kid all of the time, so this was a little bit nostalgic for me for sure, and I'm really bad at creating fashion outfits, but I tried my best just to have fun with it and kind of be a little bit wild and out there. By the way, I did get some red on my hand from the first project, so don't be alarmed by that. But once I sketched out my design, then it was time to outline everything. And my material of choice for this that I chose to color in this drawing is Ohuhu markers, but you can really use whatever supplies and materials that you have on hand to create this. This is a really simple and fun one, and you can get as creative and crazy with this as you want. I'm not very good at designing fashion outfits. Like I said before, it's very hard for me to imagine that, but I tried really hard to really focus on the colors, and I wanted to make this dress have several layers and create kind of a sunset effect, like an ombre effect where it fades into a lighter color all the way into a deeper color. But once I had all of my colors on, I felt like it really just wasn't enough, and I needed to take it a step further. So you know what I did, you can probably guess it, but I grabbed my gel pens and created little patterns all over the dress. I just included some suns, some moons, some stars, just little celestial type things, and made it really cute and themed a little bit. And I think the gold really added the necessary touches that it needed to become a cohesive design, and this was so fun but really challenging. I'm definitely out of practice in creating outfits, so I feel like it'd be really fun to show you guys the sparkles and then try it out again and try to create a different fashion design. This time I tried to go in with a little bit more of a plan. I know I wanted to use the color purple and yellow, and I knew that I wanted to make it look a little bit more vintage themed. I was kind of thinking 70s at first, but I'm not really sure if that translates, so just vintage themed in general was kind of the goal and kind of the vibe I was going for. I even added a little hat and some fancy sunglasses to this one, but once I sketched out my idea, then again I went in with the outliner to really solidify my design and make sure that I knew where I was going to put put all of my colors in. Then I erased the sketch underneath, and now it's time to go in with that purple that I was talking about before. So for this one, I started and just colored the entire thing in purple to give myself a base, and then I wanted to focus a little bit more on patterns and designs for this one, so I created little circles all over the dress. I colored in the belt yellow and the hat yellow as well to kind of matchy match a little bit. I decided to give her a yellow turtleneck underneath, and this was kind of a crazy fashion statement, kind of a crazy combo, but you can definitely get super adventurous with these designs and ideas, and this was super fun. Let me know which one you like better. But now it's time for the last idea of what you can create when you're bored, and for this one, I think it would be really fun to create movie posters. The movie I chose to create a poster for is Cinderella. I love Cinderella, especially the live action movie with Lily James. I just think it's so fun and aesthetic. But anyway, to create a movie poster, what you need to do is just think about elements that make up the movie. For Cinderella, I thought about the mice, I thought about the clock, obviously, her glass slipper, her dress, elements of the movie that just really stand out to me and are very vivid imagery of what the movie is about. So that's what I tried to create. Her magic bippity boppity boo wand. Of course, we've got the pumpkins in there. So I just sketched out all of the elements that to me really make up the movie Cinderella. And once I had them all, I also decided for this one to use Ohuhu markers. So I'm starting off by outlining everything. But again, for this one, you can also use whatever art supplies and materials that you want to use and get really creative and fun with it. It was so fun to brainstorm different things that make me think of Cinderella, especially because it's such a fun and pretty movie. I mean, we've got a magical fairy, we've got talking mice, we've got crowns, slippers, dresses. I mean, it's pretty much all there, so it was really fun to try and create this. I mean, heck, it's even got pumpkins in it. So this was a really fun one to come up with, but after I sketched everything out, it was now time to go in with the colors. So the first color that I did was the classic blue that is all over Cinderella. It's in her slippers, in her dress. I also decided to make this little thread blue as well since she likes to sew. And then I also decided to add in some yellow. For my colors, I really tried to keep them in groups. That way they would all go together and there'd be some unity between all of the colors I was using, kind of like a movie poster would do. So I was trying to stick to using them 3 times at least. That way they were everywhere and your eye could kind of bounce around from color to color and kind of have a pattern to it. So then after that, I colored in the mouse, colored in the pumpkins, and this was so much fun, and you really could pick any movie to do this with, and I had such a fun time doing Cinderella, but I would love to know what movie you would do if you were going to create a movie poster. But then of course I had to add in my elements of special gel pen and really make the entire design and whole thing sparkle, and then I also added in some white gel pen sparkles as well to really make it feel magical. And here's how it turned out. I think it is so cool and so cute and such a fun little project that you could do with a million movies, but here's a look back at the first project again, which was to create balloons, and you can do anything, any material, any color. And for the next prompt, it is to create little fashion designs. So I tried to create 2, and I could spend literally hours trying to come up with ideas. And finally, the last one is to make a movie poster. So hopefully if you're bored, now you can come up with something you can do to fulfill your boredom and no longer be bored. Let me know which one of these was your favorite, and if you try any, tag me on Instagram at Anchored Art Designs because I'd love to see it. I love the balloon, but these are all so fun. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!